a masterpiece, you know? Just a really good song. Really great work of art there. What's up, friends? Today we're checking out the new album by the Arctic Monkeys, The Car. We'll be looking at it from the perspective of a producer and songwriter, so we'll be pointing out a lot of the elements going into the songs. I really, really enjoyed AM by the Arctic Monkeys. I think it's one of the best male swagger albums in the last 30, 40 years. I've never been able to get into any of their other content as much, but I have really liked the songs I've heard so far from The Car. So I'm excited to see what it has to offer. Apologize if I'm a little low energy today, kind of feeling sick. The long instrumental intro paired with those almost random stabs at the beginning really sets the tone for this album. The aesthetic, the orchestration, as well as the slightly unpredictable nature. Like, it's a little weird, you know?
Yo.
That higher synth on this song and it almost makes the song feel like hypnotizing because that element just keeps repeating and repeating, you know?
So do you wanna walk me to the car?
I do like this song. I think it's good. I like the way the strings transition us into the last chorus. It's a nice little build and it adds a lot of excitement going into that last chorus for sure. I think it's a little slow for an opener song, although it does kind of give us the vibe that this album is going to be a slower, broodier album. There's going to be a lot of crooning, but I like to start albums with excitement. I like when a track kind of gets me going. So that's just a personal preference. The next song is I Ain't Quite Where I Think I Am. I'm Somewhere Else.
Freaky keeper by the retina.
I like the back and forth between the vocal and the guitar on that first verse. The guitar almost sounds like a vocal due to the effects put on it. So it creates kind of a duet.
Displays of affection fly over. Eyes roll back.
There's a lot of great falsetto in this song. I think it's some of the best falsetto we've heard from Arctic Monkeys since Are You Mine.
I ain't quite where I think I am.
That was a cool song. I liked the disco funk vibe. I like the references to disco. It's cool that the song before is talking about wanting a mirror ball, and then this song is very disco sounding. It even has like the string arrangements that you might expect in an old disco song. That steady beat from the drums. It's very disco. Nice and funky, nice and fresh, danceable. It's also really catchy, which makes it a good second song. I feel like second songs is where you put like your hyper catchy songs normally on an album. Please subscribe, pretty please. The next song is called Sculptures of Anything Goes.
While I'm sucking it to you, performing in Spanish.
I really like the sound of the toms on this part. They have this nice contained feeling to them. They're not over the top, but they still sound really dope.
The simulation cartridge.
I feel like the more I listen to the song, the more it makes sense. At first, it seemed kind of intense, and then as I hear those layers of development come on, I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. I get how everything fits together. The beats were sparse, but now they're big, and they're developed, and they're important. Sculptures of Anything Goes reminds me a lot of the Avicii method of production, which is creating the full developed thing and then taking away the layers to build back up to that thing. I feel like this song does that really, really well. It's one of those songs where I feel like the next time listening to it, I would imagine those elements that are there later in the song. It's very repeatable in that sense. The song becomes more as you've heard it more and more times because you remember those elements that were there before filling the spaces. The next song is Jet Skis on the Moat.
So much for deciding not to.
There's a really nice bluesy interplay between that lead guitar and the bass. They really just feed off of each other in a fun way.
Is the sun
That organ adds such a nice bluesy atmosphere to the song. Really accentuates what's going on with the guitar and bass in that sense. It's interesting to me to hear Alex Turner's crooner vocals held up against these very bluesy instrumental sounds. It's a nice contrast, and it adds something interesting to the blues genre in that sense. Although I guess technically it's more blues alternative because they fit more into that alternative rock genre. The next song up is Body Pain. I've done a full reaction to this as well as Mirror Ball. You can find that other places on my channel. But don't watch those till you're done with this video because average view duration. Body Pain.
You've made yourself quite the bed to lie in.
I love how fun the piano is on this song. When I was recording my latest album, bashing my head through all, my favorite part of the recording process was just having fun on the piano. You can tell that whoever's playing the piano on this record is really just having a good time collaborating with everyone else, making it fit into the song.
I'm watching your every move. I feel
When everything drops out and it's just those strings doing that steady bait with his vocal, it feels so Beatles. It's so cool. It's such a great moment and really boosts that song to the next level. The soloing at the end of this song is so cool, really cementing that Baroque pop vibe because of all the orchestration at the beginning and then going into that hard rock vibe at the end. It's so cool. Yeah, gotta love Body Pain. Cool song. Just takes us to a whole new level. I think this album is good. I think there's a lot of good songs on it. But Body Pain is just a masterpiece, you know? Just a really good song. Really great work of art there. Combination of orchestration with rock. There's these almost movements to the song. Feels very, Bohemian Rhapsody or Day in the Life by the Beatles. Really showing up on that song. The next song is The Car. Title track alert. Poo, 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 poo.
fetch something from the car.
The acoustic guitar paired with that timpani, paired with those snares, makes this sound like a spaghetti western song, which is cool. It's unexpected. It's a nice twist. It cements the idea that this album is cinematic in nature.
And you pretend to fall asleep on the way.
The bridge is so tender. It ain't a holiday tale. The way the strings build into it, it's so cool.
Back.
Cool song. Interesting title track, as it is probably the song that's least fit the vibe of the album in my opinion so far. It's still cinematic, which fits with everything else that's going on, but having that spaghetti western vibe is very unexpected. The lyrics are cool and there's a lot of really sweet moments to it. And I enjoy it. I like how it moves. I like how that acoustic guitar and those rhythms coming out of the acoustic guitar paired with the snare really get the song going. Big Ideas is next up.
And adapt the main theme for mandolins. I've conjured up a wall.
I think it is kind of a missed opportunity that there wasn't a mandolin playing when he named the mandolin, but at the same time, I don't think a mandolin would fit with this song. So, it's chill.
Coordinate.
That rhythm, the dum 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 dum, reminds me so much of James Bond type songs and what I'd expect from a James Bond score. Which is interesting. I mean, thinking back on this album, it kind of fits that James Bond application almost. I like the ending bit where they have that solo with the guitar and piano synchronized, playing the same notes. It's a nice way to do a solo. It's really pretty sounding. I think guitars and pianos, when they're like perfectly in sync with each other, sound so rich. It works well as a James Bond application. I think it could be a James Bond song. I almost feel like this whole album could be a movie, I would really like to see it. I think it works as movie aesthetics. I think there's a lot of story here. There's a lot of mood. There's a lot of emotion. The next song is called Hello You.
Hello, you.
There's such great riffs in this song. There's such great energy. That such a great lead into the vocal.
Picking a moment along a country lane, the kind where the
There's these bongos in that background doing their own little rhythm thing. Just having a fun jamming out. It's such a vibe. That song's dope. It moves so well. There's such interesting percussion on it. In general, this album has a lot of interesting percussion and interesting orchestration that adds to that cinematic quality, but I'd also really be curious to see what the budget was behind this album, because I can't imagine it was small. Like, they're really pulling out all the stops on this one. I think this song should be switched with Mirror Ball. I don't completely understand the concept of this album, so I might be off. There might be a really important conceptual reason that Mirror Ball is first, but hear me out for a second. This one's called Hello You. It's great to start an album by saying hello. Also, this one just has a ton of energy. I feel like it really gets us excited for what's to come in the album. It's a good introductory song. It's weird that it's the 8th song on the album, but it's still cool. Like, I still like it. Everything else, order-wise on this album, has not bothered me at all. I would just switch those two. Sequencing, man. It matters. Mr. Schwartz is next up. Fun name for a song.
Mr. Schwartz is staying strong for the crew.
Such a great storytelling song. Really paints the picture of a big Formula One type race. Maybe like the Le Mans or something. It's cool.
And if we guess who I'm pretending.
This has like a little bit of a bossa nova beat to it, right? Like the drums? Maybe I'm off.
Both incorrectly. Do we get a third?
Yeah. That song's cool. I really like the picture it paints. Probably some of the best storytelling on this album. And it kind of gives me an idea of what this movie of this album could be about. I feel like you could do a movie about a Formula One driver. You know, something like the Le Mans 69/Ford vs. Ferrari movie. Maybe have a movie about like Ayrton Senna or someone real famous like that. If you have any ideas, Steven, put them in the comments. I also think you'd like this album, Steven. It has a lot to do with cars. Perfect Sense is the last song on the album.
If that's what it takes to say goodnight.
That harmonic shift going into If That's What It Takes to Say Goodnight. So smooth. It's so pretty sounding.
Or your money back.
There's great counter melodies going on in the string section, especially in those violins on this song. So cool. Real great response to the vocals.
Final straight.
Great finisher song for this album. Real pretty sounding. Nice and moving, has a good beat, keeps with that cinematic soundscape that we've experienced throughout the rest of the album. A little bit of good storytelling in the beginning too. A lot of clever lyrics throughout this album. A lot of stuff that I really enjoyed. It's a cool Arctic Monkeys album. Very Last of the Shadow Puppets in terms of sonic soundscape. Which is cool, because I like Last of the Shadow Puppets. I think this works well. Anyway, let's start the GoFundMe campaign or whatever, the petition to make this album into a movie. I think it just makes sense. You know, it needs to be done. Someone put a link to it in the description once it's up, and we'll do it. In all seriousness, no, this is really cool. I really like the way that the instruments play off of each other. I love instrument interactions. Something I really focused on my latest album, Bashing My Head Through a Wall, which, hey, check that out. Yeah, a lot of great stuff going on here. I liked it a lot. Very epic sounding. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it's increased your enjoyment of the music from Arctic Monkeys to some extent. If so, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and check out my music. I've got an album, Bashing My Head Through a Wall, right here. I've also got my reaction to Body Paint right here. Thanks so much. Catch you on the flip.
'Cause I'm an albatross on my way to being shot.